So if you haven't heard of ChatGPT at the time of watching this video, stop. She also means it. Where have you been all this while? I mean, it's all anyone can talk about on social media, in the news, pretty much everywhere. But if you don't know what it is, don't be too stressed about it. I will give you an idea in a bit. But before that, since its inception, the AI used in ChatGPT has come a long way, to the extent where it can even help you land a job today. Now, in one of my previous videos, I had talked about how you can use ChatGPT to make your CV. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything else you can do with ChatGPT or other AI tools to exponentially increase your chances of landing a job in the UK. So remember to watch all the way till the end. Now, according to Forbes, a resume builder tool interviewed about 1,000 people, and about 70% of them said that they saw an increased number of responses from recruiters when they used ChatGPT for the entire process and for their resume. 78% of them landed up with interviews, and 6 out of 10 from these people actually converted their jobs. Now, that being said, 6 out of 10 of them actually got rejected once the recruiters found out that they were heavily using ChatGPT in their application process. So it's not just important to use it, but it's also how you use it, and you need to use it smartly. Now, I'm Ashika, and on this channel, we talk about how you can move to the UK and what your life is going to be like once you get here. With that, let's dive in. Now, if you aren't really sure what ChatGPT is, let's start with that first. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence or AI chatbot developed by OpenAI and released in November 2022, which is basically a tool based on AI that can answer questions and assist you with tasks like composing emails, essays, code by scouring the internet for this information. Now, AI is way ahead of its time, so whether it's a good or a bad thing, only time will tell. But here's the thing. AI can help you land a job in 2 ways, but the first way is a lot more straightforward, so let me cover that first. ChatGPT can help you land a job by simply knowing how to use it. ChatGPT is now what Microsoft Office was a couple of years ago. So you're kind of expected to know it, and very soon you will be expected to know it and use it in your day-to-day functions. The truth is, people who are comfortable with ChatGPT and all the latest technology will always have an advantage over the others who don't. A lot of companies are already using ChatGPT to take meeting notes, to make content, to write summaries, to write code, and a lot more than this. And the reason why they expect you to know this is really simple. It saves time. Earlier, when you joined a Zoom call, someone had to sit and take notes at the end of the meeting. But now, AI does that for you. It populates all of your meeting notes, so you don't have to do that. If you are in content creation, it can even give you a list of entire content topics that you can actually work on. In some cases, it can even go on to create the actual content for you. The bottom line is, it saves a massive amount of time for everyone who's using it, which then frees up your time to do something more important or equally important. So at this point, it's really important for you to learn how to use tools that use AI, starting with ChatGPT. So if you are in a role where using ChatGPT could prove to be useful, please do remember to mention it in your CV, but don't just mention it for the sake of mentioning it without any other information. Mention that you know ChatGPT, you know how to use it, and mention how it has helped you at your current job. Always drive with benefits. Now, the second way it can actually help you is in the entire process of landing that job. Let's go step by step of how you would actually look for a job, even if there wasn't ChatGPT to help you. The first thing you would do is build a skeletal CV and cover letter, which is basically your base template on top of which you'll add all of your customization. You can now do that entire process using ChatGPT. Just go to ChatGPT and say, can you help me with the CV for a solutions architect with 5-year experience, or any role that you're interested in. Do the same thing for the cover letter, but mention the words cover letter. Now, I won't cover all of this in a lot of detail because I've already done an entire video on that. That was this video. I will link it in the description below so you can watch it and learn how to use ChatGPT and everything you need to know to make your CV on ChatGPT. But I think the important thing for you to remember here is that it's not important to just copy it from here. You also have to add your own personalizations to everything that ChatGPT gives you to get that extra edge. Let's talk about how it's going to actually help you. It not only saves you time, but it saves you a lot of time. So in the past, whenever I've been making CVs, it would take me anywhere from a couple of hours to an entire day to make a good CV. Now the heavy lifting is being done by ChatGPT, so I just have to add my personalizations on top of it. So that means you could now get your CV done and dusted in under an hour. Now, before I move ahead, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's the time to do it. Hit the subscribe button now and click on the bell icon for notifications. The next thing is when it comes to looking for job openings. For this, I would suggest you don't use ChatGPT because, to be really honest, all of the information that it collates is up to 2021, so it would not have information on the current job opening. So don't use it here. Instead, if you are looking at a particular company, or if you're interested in a particular company and you want to apply to them, you've seen a job opening with them, use ChatGPT to find out everything you need to know about this company. Because if you are going to interview with them, it's really important that you get to know as much as possible about this company. Assume you're looking for a job in TFL. Now, under normal circumstances, you would go and Google out about TFL on multiple websites. Instead, do this. Head over to ChatGPT and type out, "What can you tell me about TFL?" It will give you all the information you need to know before you either decide to apply or reject the company. Perhaps you want to know if the TFL has a diversity program. So instead of checking their website and hunting for the answer, ask ChatGPT. How does this help again? Again, it saves you a ton of time, preventing you from having to do research in multiple places, and it then gives you the time to do something else, to do in-depth research on some other topic, or fine-tune your CV, or help preparing your answers. Now, if you have found an opening for which you are ideal, great. Go back to ChatGPT and ask it to create a CV for you for this specific company using all of your previous experience. Assume you worked in OnePlus in India and you're now looking to move to Nestle in the UK. Type out, "Can you make me a CV for the role of a social media manager at Nestle with 5 years experience at OnePlus from 2015. Now, how does this help? Well, it's obviously great because it's going to give you the keywords that you need to mention, and how it does this is by combing all the past openings that Nestle had put for similar roles and identifying the keywords that are important and giving those to you, so you can now include these words in your CV or in your cover letter or even in your interview. These are keywords that recruiters will be looking for when they start scanning for CVs, and if there's an ATS system, it will also be looking for these keywords. So now you have exponentially increased your chances of landing a job because it's a higher possibility your CV will be shortlisted. When it comes to headshots, there's no clear answer on whether they're good or bad for your profile. I honestly believe it depends on the job. Now, depending on whether you want to include your headshot as a part of your CV or not, AI can help, but this time it's not ChatGPT because it doesn't deal with visuals. Instead, there are a bunch of options, but most of them are paid, like Studio Shot, Headshot AI, or Headshot Pro. They ask you for a bunch of your existing photos and work their magic in the back end and create a professional headshot for you automatically. Now, if you don't want to do this, of course, you can do it manually. You can go and you can upload any of your existing pictures that have a slightly professional look. You can take off the background using tools. You can then upload it in Canva. You download a professional background from Unsplash and then combine it all in Canva. It's a process that takes a little more time, but it's free. Now, how does this help? Well, obviously it really helps because you don't have to spend much time if you are using the Pro pack, because you just upload some existing pictures of yourself and they'll do the rest. But if you want to do it free, of course, you can still do that. It'll eat up a little into your time, but it won't cost you anything. Now, once you have an interview scheduled, you definitely want to prepare for that role. Something you should definitely do is find out what the questions are that are commonly asked while interviewing for that role. Simply ask ChatGPT for help. Type out, "Can you share commonly asked questions for a social media manager at Nestle?" It gives you the questions you can expect. Now, you can go a step further by asking ChatGPT to help you answer these questions. One of the possible questions it threw up was, "How do you adapt your social media strategy to align with Nestle's goals and objectives?" So, ask ChatGPT what the answer to that should be. It will even tell you how to respond. Now remember, always take the answers that ChatGPT is giving you as a base, and please add your own personalization and your own experience to these answers to make it your own and not just something you're parroting. You can also ask it for tips to prepare for an interview, commonly asked questions for that company, for that role not specific to that company, tips for applying for a job in a different country, and these are just some examples. Now, how does this help? Not only does it save you the time of having to research this in other places, but it also gives you appropriate answers that recruiters would want to hear from you, so it helps you prepare better. Now let's quickly look at the other things ChatGPT can help you with to try and help you land that job. If you've reached a point in your career where you're looking for a change but don't know which roles to consider, ask ChatGPT for possible roles you can consider by feeding your resume. You can ask it to translate things for you, like translating your resume or cover letter. You can ask it to research alternate job titles or similar jobs to the ones that you're already looking for. You can even ask it for the names of the biggest brands in a particular industry to help you create a list of target companies. You can ask it for ideal questions that you can ask in a job interview, specific to the role that you're applying for and specific to a particular company. The list is endless. The bottom line is use ChatGPT quickly and cleverly, and it can exponentially increase your chances of landing a job in the UK. Now, if you'd like to know how to use ChatGPT to create your resume and how to even use it in the first place, watch this video.